All right, so today we're going to go over questions number 71 to 80. So here are the first 5 questions, and we're going to get started with question number 71. So, which shows the correct substitution for the values A, B, and C from this equation? So first thing you guys need to know is that your equation, it has to be this way, equal to 0. Has to be in that direction. Everything here has to be positive. Okay, so what that means is I'm going to go ahead and rearrange this. So if I have a -2 right here, on the right side, I have to have x squared first, minus x, minus 4. But I don't want to have that -2 because it has to be a 0. So what's opposite of a -2? A +2. And you have to align them up correctly. So here's your 0. Let me just make sure I'm sharing it correctly. Yes, I am. Equals, bring everything down. X squared minus x. -4 plus 2 is, what is this going to give you guys? And once you have that, positive, 0, check, check. So then you got to ask yourself, okay, it's the first number here in the x squared, first number here in front of the x, and then there's your c. So match it up, you guys. What is your A? What is your B? And what is your C? And if I just match that first number right there, you guys, A is going to be 1. B is going to be -1. C is -2. Make sure you guys have your handwritten notes there. And once you have that, you just plug it into the equation. This is your equation right here that I am highlighting in green. So let's go ahead and plug that in. So when I plug this in, you guys, what you're going to end up having is -b is going to give you a -1 plus or minus the square root of -1 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is -2, all the way over 2a, which is 2 times 1. So looking at this, which one matches what I just wrote down right here? A, B, C, or D? Pretty simple. It's going to be D. Notice that you have a -1. That's the first one. So that could either be A or D. But then the difference with D is that you have a 4 times 1 times -4. And it should be a 4 times 1 times -2. So you just need to match it. And then that's it. That's all that you need. And that is your question, you guys. Question number 72. Okay. The formula of the area of the parallelogram is A equals B times H, where B is the base and H is the height, which simplified expression represents the area of the parallelogram. Okay, so first things first, area equals base times height. This is the H, this is the B. So go ahead and label that first. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2x squared plus 2x minus 6, that's your base, times x minus 4. Now, you can do this one of several ways. I think the best way for us to do this is so we actually create a little table. So what I want you guys to do is we're going to create a table like this. Okay, and it's going to be 1, 2, like that. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then looking at my table, this is where you're going to be writing, okay? And actually, I'm going to move my table up a little. Actually, no, it's good. I'm just going to move this up a little bit so you guys can see better. There we go. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put in 2x squared, 2x minus 6, like that. And then on the side, it's going to be an x and a minus 4. And then what we're going to have to do is just fill in the table by multiplying, okay? So for the first answer, it's just going to be 2x squared times x. That's going to be 2x to the third. Next one, 2x times x is 2x squared. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. So I filled out that first table for you guys. I want you guys to try to see if you can fill out the bottom table. So give that a try, you guys. Okay, so when you guys fill this part out, you should have a negative 8x squared. 2x times negative 4 is a negative 8x. Negative 6 times negative 4 is a positive 24. And again, if you have your cell phone, please put your cell phone away. All right, so here's the thing. Your last number is going to be this top part and this bottom part. Do you guys see that? You see the corner answers right there? That's your first and last answers. Your first answer is 2x cubed. Your last answer is 24. So automatically you're like, okay, it can't be A and it can't be C. So it can either be B or D. Then your answer in the middle is going to be diagonal. Do you see the part I'm highlighting right there in orange? You're going to add that together, and that's going to be the middle number right there. And then also the diagonal right here in green. You're going to add those numbers together, and that's going to be your middle number right here. So looking at this right here, negative 8 plus 2 is a negative 6x squared. Negative 8 minus 6 is a negative 14x. So is it A, B, C, or D? Well, there's only one that matches it, and that is B as in boy, and that is your answer, you guys. That's how you do it. You have to create a little chart, put in the numbers across and down, and then you just simply multiply it and fill in the chart. Number 73, go ahead and take a moment and read that. All right, so let's take a look at this. What is a simplified expression of this? Okay, so the first thing to do is you're going to take a look inside this parenthesis, okay? So inside here, we have p plus 4 squared. That's the same thing as saying p plus 4 times p plus 4. This is the one where we have to do FOIL, which is FOIL, okay? FOIL stands for first, so p times p is p squared. Outer, p times 4 is 4p. Inner, 4 times p is 4p. And then last, 4 times 4 is 16. So fill that out first. Okay, next, you're gonna ask yourself, is there something here that I can maybe combine together? Do you see the outer and inner? 4p and 4p is 8p. So then, do you see how there's a -2 in here? That -2 means you're gonna multiply everything that I'm highlighting right here in yellow by a -2. So what that means is this becomes a -2p squared. 8 times -2 is a -16p. 16 times -2 is a -32. But then don't forget the second part right here that I'm highlighting right here in red or boxing in red, which is -3 and plus 5p. You still have to add those together, okay? So be careful with that. So then what is your answer? Well, let's bring it down. -2p squared. 16 minus 5 is going to give you a -11p. -32, -3 is a -35. That is your answer. Is that A, B, C, or D? And it looks like it is A as an apple. And that's your answer, you guys.
We're just doing one side on Wednesdays, right? We're going to do one.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna email you right now for the SCL stuff. And then if you want to print that out on the other side, the other half, that would be great. All right, you guys, 74, 2 more to go, and then we'll take a pause. Or if you have some SCL stuff that you would like to incorporate, you can go and add it on there as well.
I didn't really do SEL in my classes.
I don't either. I mean, not really, but like I'm just creating things.
I taught it, but like the actual just whole curriculum.
Right, I don't have the curriculum. I just like find things online. I just incorporate it. Yeah.
But they already get it. They already got it in the freshman seminar.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, you know, it's gonna be other things like as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're gonna have to do something to like fluff it up a little bit to get like, you know, all right, let's take a look at this, you guys. Which product should Tomas choose? All right, so this looks hard, but it's not difficult because guess what? This right here in yellow that I'm highlighting is the equation you're working with. And all you have to do is replace it. Every time you see an A, you replace it with a 2x. Every time you see a B, what do you replace it with? A y. So once again, anytime you see an A, replace it with a 2x. Anytime you see a B, you replace it with a y. So taking your equation right there, your first part of your equation is, and there's a plus sign, and there's a minus sign, and a plus sign. So your first part is A plus B. So that's just 2x plus y, right? That's all you're doing is just replacing A and B's. Next, A squared. A squared is 2x times 2x, which is a 4x squared. Then A times B is a 2xy, and a B squared is just a y squared. And quite frankly, Ms. Jensen, if you feel like, I just wanted to like kind of cut this class up a little bit, but if you feel like we just go over 10 questions, then let's just go over 10 questions. I don't really care at this point. Yeah.
Whatever, yeah, I think that's fine.
And then if you just find some stuff online and just paste it on there, you know, and then we'll just have them do that. Yeah. A, B, C, or D, you guys. Which one matches this? C, but that's how you get the answer. You know what I mean? Because you still have to know how you get there. And it's important that you guys do this because next year you're going to become juniors and you're going to go to Algebra 2 and you have to know this stuff because this is Algebra 1. All right, last question, and then we'll take a break, I promise. What is the product of this? Okay, so this is a fun start. One more time, we're gonna do a chart. Okay, you guys ready? So I'm gonna do a chart like this. It's gonna be like a rectangle. And you're gonna draw like that. And then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, so just draw a chart of this. All right, I have the CD chart. chart right here, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it around to you. And if you just write your name on where you're sitting, that would be awesome. And people that are not here today, I'm just gonna put them on a sign place. So when they show up next time or whenever they do, they'll just sit wherever they sign.
Somebody else's name? No. Yeah, they're
So here you go. Okay, so like for example, I don't think Louise is here, right?
Who?
Louise?
No.
No. So like Louise is not here. So I might have Louise just sit right there, you know, just so we have like a little bit of distance in between everyone. And that way we don't have to go, okay, Louise, where do you want to sit? Let me think. I might want to sit here. No, I changed my mind. Maybe over there. I'm like, no, if you're not here, I'm just gonna put you in a place. All right, so looking at this right here, 3p squared, 4p, oops, sorry, skip one. 3p squared, 4p, and -3. That's the first one. Then on the bottom, you're going to have 2p and then 7. Let's fill out the chart, you guys. First one, 6p to the third, because there are 3 p's right there. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8, and it's a p squared because there's 2 p's there. 2 times -3 is a -6, and there's only 1 p, so I'm going to put that p right there. All right, next, 21p squared, 28p, -21. And just like what we said before, which one is going to be your first answer and your last answer? Which one is going to be your middle answer and your second middle answer? So looking at the things I'm highlighting, immediately you should go, okay, there are 2 answers that I cannot have because this is a -21 and this is a positive and a positive. So it's not A or B. So it could either be C or D. But then let's take a look at the first middle number. 21 plus 8 is going to give you a 29p squared. Okay, both of them have that, so that didn't help me at all. Let's try the second one. Second middle number is 28 minus 6, which is a 22p. So is it A, B, C, or D, you guys? C. But that's how you will get to your answer. All right, we are done with this. You guys are going to go ahead and do your reflection right now, which is right there. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and finish up number 76 to 80. So this is the last 4 or 5 questions that you guys have. And we'll start off with number 76. So Asoki is solving the quadratic equation by completing the square. What is the value of A? Okay, so A is this number right here. Obviously, it's highlighted right there. And so they want to know what is that number. So looking at this part here, between 10 and 40, if I were to take a number out, what divides into 10 and what also divides into 40? Has to be a number that goes into both. Now, I know you could say something like, oh, well, 2, that's correct. 2 goes into it, but that's not the biggest number. You want the biggest number. You could say 5. Okay, that's true, but that's not the biggest number. Can we do 10? Yeah. If I take 10 out, I will have x squared plus 4x inside. So then what is your A then? It's 10. That's it. That's all that you have to do. They basically give you guys the steps. Your job is to make sure that you just literally do the next step and just match it. That's it. That's number 76. Pretty simple overall. All right, let's take a look at number 77. All right, number 77 is just what are the zeros to this? Zeros just means they want to know what is x equal to, okay? When y equals 0. So looking at this part right here, this is going to be a little bit complicated. You're going to have to use a quadratic equation. So A equals 2, B equals -10, C equals -3. Once you have A, B, and C, we're going to plug into that quadratic equation, which is negative B plus or minus B squared minus 4AC all the way over to A. And this is a -3 in here, just so you guys know. Okay, so I have a positive 10 plus or minus. -10 times -10 is 100. 4 times 2 is a 6. 6 times 3 is 18. So plus 18 over 2 times 2 is a 4. Okay, so then continue. 10 plus or minus 100 plus 18 is 118 divided by 4. At this point, you're like, okay, well, where's my answer? None of that matches. I get it. That's because you need to go ahead and simplify the 118. And so I'm going to do this on the side right here. Square root of 118. What goes into it? That's a perfect square. Oh, and you know what? I totally screwed this up. It's not 118. 4 times 2 is not 6. It's 8. I added. And then times by 3 is 24. So this should be 124. Sorry. There you go. Well, I could break this down into like 4 times 31, right? Because 4 times 31 is 124. But then what you should know is that 4 is a perfect square. What's a square root of 4? A 2. Square root 31. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and replace this as a 10 plus or minus 2 square root 31 over 4. And I look at my answer, I'm like, still not quite there yet. It's getting closer, but still don't see the answer that matches it exactly. But that's okay though, because you just need to kind of like simplify this a little bit. You see the plus or minus right here, you got to split it. So your first answer is a 10 plus 2 square root 31 over 4. Your second answer is a 10 minus 2 square root 31 over 4. And then how do you get to the actual answer? Well, what's 10 divided by 4? 10 over 4 can be canceled to a 5 over 2. Well, what's 2 over 4? That gives me a 1. So which answer here says 5 plus or minus 1 square root 31 over 2? A, B, C, or D? I think C is the only one that shows that. That is your answer. You look where the 31 is, it's in the square root. The 2 is on the very bottom. And the first number here is a positive 5. I know you're thinking A looks very similar, but do you see how A has a negative in front of it? And that's not A. You have a positive 5. So just be kind of careful with that. But that essentially, you guys, is how you guys get to the answer. 78. Take a moment and read it. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is a function. Notice it's a negative x squared. And anything with a negative x squared, you have like this upside down shape, okay, kind of like launching a rocket. What are the domains and range of this function? Okay, so domains are the x values. So you're looking at left side and right side, okay? So if you look at this, is this graph ever going to stop moving to the left and right? No, it's going to be negative infinity to positive infinity or all real numbers. So it's never going to stop. Okay, that's your first answer. So make sure you guys have that part down. Your second part is your range. Your range talks about going up and down. If you look at this graph, it stops right there. It doesn't go any further than 15. So 15 is the highest it will ever get. How low does it get? Does it ever stop moving downward? Nope, it's gonna go to negative infinity, okay? And if I look at my answers right here, I automatically see that it could either be A or B because domain's all real numbers, but I don't know what's gonna happen with range. And actually, the answer here you see is 16. So if I look at my graph a little bit better, it does go a little bit further than 15. It's like one notch over, so it's actually 16. Because of this bracket is at 16, that means there is a equal sign. So it has to be like that, okay, because of the bracket. If it was a parenthesis, then it's going to be like this. There's no equal sign. So with that one thing right there, it is going to be B as in boy, you guys, okay? And so it's these tiny little things you have to look for to make sure that you get to the correct answer. Okay, number 79. Go ahead and take a moment and read it. All right, which are the zeros to this? So what this is asking you to do is you're gonna plug this into the quadratic formula. A is 9, B is negative 54, C is negative 19. When you plug into the formula, it's negative B plus or minus B squared minus 4AC all the way over to A. So this one, you're going to require a little bit of work on your part. All right, so let's grab your calculators, you guys. Double negative makes it a positive. So I'm going to start off with a positive 54 plus or minus a square root of 54 times 54 is 2916. 4 times 9 times 19. And because there's like a double negative right here, your answer is going to be a positive on the inside. But 4 times 9 times 19 is going to give you a 684 all the way over 18. And I know you're like, holy crap, that's a really big number. You're absolutely right. And if I add everything inside the parenthesis or inside the square root, you guys, it's going to give you 3600 over 18. And I know you're like, okay, this number is still really big. And that's true. But guess what? You'll be able to make it a little bit smaller. What is a square root of 3600? If you're not sure, does anybody know what the square root of 36 is? Like what times what has to be the same number? Equals 36. You know, 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 25. What's 6 times 6? It is 36. Yeah, so this part right here, that's just going to be 6 and a 0. 60 times 60 is 3600. So you're going to have 54 plus or minus 60 over 18. And I know you're like, but wait a second. This is just one answer. I have two answers here, so you're going to separate it. First answer is 54 plus 60 divided by 18. Second answer is going to be 54 plus 60 or minus 60. Just kidding. Divided by 18. So grab your calculator. 54 plus 60 divided by 18. Your first answer is going to give you a 6.33. Your second answer is going to be a negative 0.33. So you have two answers. Well, given the fact none of the answers here are negative because they're all positive, you know it cannot be the negative answer. That's not the correct answer. Which one of this here is equal to 6.33? Which one do you guys think? A, B, C, or D? Well, the only one that has a 6 is C. 1 divided by 3 is 0.33. So it's 6.33 right there. That's your answer. Last question, number 80. Okay, so on this final, it's a little bit different than the last final where everything was all multiple choice. This one, you have fill in the blank. So you're going to have to make sure you have fill in the blank. So looking at number 80, it says the first 3 steps of solving this is completed finding the missing number. All right, so let's take a look at the second step. Second step, you have a 6x. 6 divided by 2 squared. 6 divided by 2 is 3. What's 3 squared? 3 times 3 is 9. So when you add 9 right here, you got to add the 9 on the right side as well. So 7 plus 9 is going to give you a 16. But do you guys see there's a 9 on the outside of this? You gotta take that. Oh, you know what? You don't need to add 16. Your 7's right there. Just kidding, I'm sorry. I totally thought that we added them together and they did not add it together. Do you see how 7's right there, you guys? So it's just 9, okay? 9 times this 9. What's 9 times 9? 81. And that is your answer, is just 81. I thought they had the 7 there, but they did. So we're just gonna put the 7 separate. All right, you guys, that is your last one. Make sure you guys give me your total right here. Make sure you give me your level of understanding.